want tomorrow, run it back. I box for real, wars in the gym, but what's tougher is tucking your grace, not a strap. I'm not the one, but I was one. Showed you that one woman's enough. I was the one, stayed on the one.
It's funny because as soon as I walked up, I saw Bree. She actually asked me this question in Denver, and we made a video. People were furious at me. I mean, they were calling for my firstborn in the comment section.
First of all, it's a good way to think about it is that not all Christian music is good and not all secular music is bad, okay? So it's because you market it as Christian doesn't mean that God is somehow pleased with it.
But I stand by what I said. What I said was, yes, all Christian music is not good. If you decide to market your music Christian, it does not somehow become acceptable in God's sight and good for people to listen to. I think that it's important to remember that I'm thinking of one dude right now. He was a Christian rapper his entire career. He and I agreed on a lot about how we looked at the label Christian rap. He went a lot further than I did. He would fight that we would make sure that we were mainly raising up Christian rappers. And he himself is an atheist today. Because you have been faithful to a title or faithful to a genre does not make you faithful. So I think it's important to say Christian is a lifestyle. It is not a genre of music. On Judgment Day, it is well done, my good and faithful servant. Whether you were an artist in the mainstream or if you were in, getting Dove Awards or Stellars or whatever, that is irrelevant. How are you loving God, loving people? So that is the core. So again, I cannot overstate because let me say one more thing about the whole Christian thing. I know too many Christian artists, past and present, who have made powerful songs out of their skill, not out of their heart for God. Some of them don't even know God. Skill isn't something that is inherent to being redeemed. You can be skillful to do all kinds of things. Again, there's not a direct correlation between I'm a Christian artist and I am an actual follower of Jesus. That is a misconception. So I stand by that. Not all secular music is bad. I think that when people watched the video that me and Bree did a conversation on, they heard me say that all secular music isn't bad, and they defined the word secular to mean evil. So if anybody wants to rap about something that isn't about Jesus, that is evil. Now, I would disagree with that. I think that the church disagrees with that historically. Martin Luther in the Reformation, this was a big piece where he said the Pope is not more spiritually off, better spiritually off than the man that's on the street sweeping. That if you're sweeping or preaching, if you do it to the glory of God, God is just as pleased. They are both spiritual acts. I can worship God by preparing a sermon, and I can also worship God by making a sub at Publix that is feeding somebody. Luther in the Reformation was really big on not taking credit from God because the person who was creating this thing isn't saying that they are following God. So I think it's important to recognize we sing the it was my birthday a week ago. Happy birthday. Thank you so much. We sang happy birthday in English and in Spanish. That is a secular song, okay? If you were at your wedding and you want to play Meet Me at the Altar in Your White Dress, they are singing about an idea that came from God. It is marriage that is sacred and honorable. Oh, I will always love you. We are able, because we're made in the image of God, to create things out of that image, even though we ourselves haven't been redeemed yet. That's why hospitals and doctors and all kinds of good things in this world are often ran by people that don't know Jesus, but they are still made in the image of God. And as much as we can appreciate the image of God in what they're creating, we can enjoy that. So yes, I do listen to some secular music as much as it does not dishonor God. It is still in a space where I can honor God while I'm listening to it. Now, that's a way long conversation. I got my boys right here. There are lots of stuff that I do not want them listening to for me as well, for the same reasons. But for us to make a hard line and say, Unless somebody has identified this as a Christian song by a Christian artist, Christians can't listen to it, is a unbiblical, unfaithful, and I would say carnal thing to say. Yeah.
Yeah, going harder, married to my baby mama. Yeah, this is water, gonna down to Tijuana. Keep your calm, a piece of God. Through my trauma, feeling like my soul is on a beach and product traumas up in Casablanca.
Hello, everybody. We're here with Mo. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good, man. I'm a little tired after the show.
Yeah, you should be. So I have a few questions for you.
Yeah,
The first question is, why are you here? Like, why did you come to this event?
I came to this event, number one, because I want God to get the glory out of everything I do. I'm KB's drummer and music director, so I handle all his on stage music, the stuff you hear, coming out the PA system, the drums, all that type of stuff. So I make sure he basically looks good and y'all get a show that y'all remember and that y'all want to come back to. That's my job.
All right. Next question is, a week from now, when people wake up, what do you want them to remember about tonight? What do you want to stick in their mind?
I want them to remember Jesus. One thing that we're built on is in KB's camp is, HGA is for a reason. It's not just like a cool thing that we just say, but like his glory alone is like, man, I want God to get the glory out of everything that happens on stage. And at the end of the day, if you don't remember Mo, Kevin Burgess, or anybody else on stage, remember Jesus, because that's what's going to be eternal, not us performing in front of y'all.
Nice. All right, second to last question. King David, everybody calls him King David, but he was a musician.
Yes.
So I want to know, what are some king moves that you have planned that don't necessarily have to do with music in your life?
Number one, my first part, I'm married and I have children, so my first priority is actually to honor my wife and take care of my family. That's my first priority, personally. When it comes to, and I think this relates to music and everything else, is to just study, like find time with God, find time to speak to him, let him speak to you, and not let the, just the anxiety of life, you know what I'm saying? Let that not get to you first before God does. It's like, yo, man, like I wake up, hey, God, what's going to happen today? You know what I'm saying? Like the specifics. I got to go to work. I got to produce this. I got to arrange this. We got a tour coming up. I got to do this. I got to do that. But like before all that even happens, like God, like, what do you want to happen today? Because my plan may not be his plan necessarily. You know what I'm saying? But we come in with, I got to do this. I don't have time for this. I don't have a lot of time for, and God, he's not confined by time. You know what I'm saying? He redeems time, actually. So it's just like, God, what do you want me to do? So just having a consistent prayer life. And for me personally, just like, praying, studying, being honorable to my wife, to my children, before we even get to the KB, to the music stuff, that's my first priority there. And I feel like, things come in steps, and I can't necessarily do this. Like I can do this and on stage and I can fake the funk all day long. But eventually it's just like, yo, something's not right. It doesn't add up. You know what I'm saying? So for me personally, it's just like, hey, your ministry starts with at home.
Wow, that's good. I got one last question for you. So what did it feel like, or at what point did you wake up and just realize you're the best drummer in the world? Like, how did that happen? Was it just one day you just knew? Like, how did it feel? Like, tell me about that.
Well, first, that never happened. That's the first. It never happened. Till this day, it's never happened. But music has run in my family on my dad's side. My dad, my uncles, his two brothers started out playing drums. My sister played drums for a little bit. My cousins on my dad's side, they played drums. So everybody started out playing drums and then went on to like bass and guitar and stuff like that. So I don't think I'm the best drummer ever, and I would never think that because I can name.
Find his. Just watch his videos.
I can name 20 people who could play me under the table.
Really?
Oh, I mean easily, just like that.
Wow.
But you know, for whatever reason, I'm here. While I'm here, I want to exhaust everything that God has given me to do here. Well, I know this is. I'm a drummer, but this is not my identity. This is just a means of how God uses me to draw people closer to Him. I think as long as I keep that perspective and keep that attitude, you know what I'm saying, I can help train the next person that's coming up after me to like, hey, I'm passing you the baton. This is how you need to govern this. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I think of it. I'll never be the best though.
That right there is actually a king. That's a king move, because in David's life there was a time when he was being pursued and taught that he would be the king. Mm-hmm. Then there was a time that he was king, and then there was a time where he had to teach his son to be king.
Yes.
3 different stages, and we all have to be there. If you're not building somebody else up, if you're not learning from somebody, or if you're not living in your destiny, you know, what are you doing? So,
and I'm older than you think I am too. Touring is a young man's game, so.
Wow.
Yeah, it is. I just turned 34
He's young.
on Wednesday.
Still got Similac around the lips. He's young. He's young. He's 30. You know,
I'm young, but it's kind of like NBA or NFL. It's just like once you turn 37-ish, it's like, all right, you kind of old, my guy. You need to consider retiring. So
they hit
I'm
home.
not saying I'm going to retire at 37, but I know this isn't the end all be all.
Yeah.
Somebody took the time out for me to help me get to where I am, and I feel like I owe that to the generation coming up after us. Like, hey, man, like, be cool, man. Like, nothing lasts forever. You know, there's an expiration date on everything.
That is true.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, so that's how I feel, man. You know?
Well, thank you so much.
Hey,
thank you
man,
for your time.
Thank you.
This is Mo. This is Nate. I'm Nate Ease, and we'll see y'all soon.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
All right.